And the person who came forward on the night that Donovan Thomas was killed, without saying what they said, who was that person?
Kenneth Copeland.
Kenneth Copeland, snitch. That's Woody.
A member of YSL was driving on the highway, and members of If Gang shot his vehicle.
Days 63 and 64 of the Young Thug YSL RICO trial were tedious. The judge allows a Daubert hearing to occur with the jury present in the courtroom. Then the Thug and Future album covers misinterpreted by the detective and the state again. Later in this video, I don't know why the state keeps bringing up this album cover. They say this album cover is taunting their rival gang, but it's literally not. It's Future's logo and Thug's logo put together for a collab mixtape. The lawyers even laugh because they're like, oh, this is gonna be so easy to defend. Hit the join button down below. It's only 10 cents per day. I really appreciate the support. Hit subscribe. Here we go. First look at Thug on day 63. You get the turtleneck going again.
We have nothing from the state about the initial statement. It's my position. It doesn't come in. This is the issue we raised with the bench. Mr. Murphy said that he's in fear. Specifically said this has nothing to do with Jeffrey Williams.
Didn't we cover that already, though? Yeah, okay.
Excluded. But now I understand the state wants to play all three statements. In addition to that, they did not remove, to my knowledge, Jacoby Hudson's statements.
Redacted, like we discussed in court yesterday.
Okay, so has the corresponding video also been edited?
So because the video is choppy, what the state will do is, since we have to play through evidence reviewer, we're going to mute the portions that are redacted, because if you saw yesterday, the video was choppy, so we don't have a redacted video. But
and I'm not casting any blame here. Got the cheat sheet at 8:20 this morning. So, no, I'm not agreeing with it. But this muting in front of the jury, you're hiding information from the jury. These statements weren't.
They don't know what the purpose is, other than they're not playing it.
Understood.
So,
I don't know if the video is played at all.
Okay, you've said that already.
They have a witness who can testify if it is a prior and consistent statement. The state's putting in things that are not prior and consistent statements. My issue is the video is more than impeachment.
The video has talk of way more than just impeaching Walter DK. It's like about other crimes and shit that's not necessary.
I just want to be clear that I do not believe it's impeachment by contradiction either.
Okay, all right, well, I understand that.
Okay,
that's your position. Okay, all right, sir.
So already the first hour of this day is them arguing about the same statements they were arguing about yesterday.
I don't believe it says it's done in front of the jury. It said it wasn't done at all, and you have the discretion to find someone.
There was no pre-admission. It was done in front of the jury.
I'm objecting to it being done in front of the jury. I'm objecting not to have a Daubert hearing outside in front of the jury. Can I just have a continuing objection? Because I don't want to do this in front of the jury.
Why is the judge letting a Daubert hearing happen in front of the jury? A Daubert hearing, to dumb it down, is basically analyzing if an expert is truly an expert in the field, and they want to do that in front of the jury. So right now, I think they're doing a Daubert hearing on Detective Gaither, which is one of the detectives in this case.
How long did you work in law enforcement?
Almost 19 years.
Would you please tell the jury where you're originally from?
Chicago, Illinois. My neighborhood, it was Gangster Disciples and Black Disciples, where I went to school.
So they're bringing Detective Gaither as a gang expert. This is a tweet right here to break it down. It's kind of funny. If you need more proof that the YSL trial is a kangaroo court, here it is. The judge is doing a Daubert hearing in presence of the jury. The whole point of such hearing is to determine if scientific evidence should be heard by the jury. This is absurd. Next level clown court. That should be the subject of an emergency appeal and shut down immediately.
Now, were you afraid to interact with them when you were growing up with your friends and family who were involved with gangs?
I stand objection.
Like 5 lawyers said objection relevance there.
Back then in the 80s and the 90s, the thing was, wait.
Brian steals deep breath after he overrules objection from the 80s and 90s.
How about in terms of socioeconomic status? How would you describe the Inglewood area that you grew up in as compared to the England Avenue area?
Objection relevance.
Why are we talking about in Chicago right now? Like,
was it your testimony that the Mechanicsville, Pittsburgh, and Mill Avenue area is on? I'm trying to get clarity.
Clarity for the question.
I'll overrule the objection, sir.
The judge has overruled literally 15 objections in the defense in about 8 minutes.
Again, being proactive, doing drop-ins at our local businesses. We would respond to areas that were considered hotspots within the zones.
So this is all very boring, but they're just certifying her as an expert. Don't know why they're doing it in front of the jury, but it's just everything she knows about gangs in Atlanta and Chicago, blah, blah, blah.
It's relevant, establishing background. The juror has to gauge.
I'll sustain the objection, sir.
You sustain it,
No,
John?
I'm going to overrule the objection.
Thank you.
All right.
Miss Love was just like, wait, you sustained it? No, you're overruling it.
Just the basic gang identifiers, how to recognize a gang, crimes that gangs generally committed, basically what the state considered to be a gang, and what particular crimes or activities were considered criminal street gang activity.
Is it relevant? History is relevant.
For background is what?
It's relevant, sir. I'm going to overrule your objection, okay? You may have a continuing objection, sir.
I'd rather be dead to be in this jury. Straight up. Kill me. Okay, maybe a little bit of an over-exaggeration.
You know, the involvement that we had within the community to just get out and talk to people or ask, you know, what does that mean? They were pretty proud about, you know, telling us what it was and what it meant.
We're not asking us to listen.
Yeah, I'm going to overrule the objection. Overruled. Overruled.
You said that they would talk to you.
Overruled, sir.
I mean, she is repeating testimony.
Did you arrest people for using certain hashtags?
Yes, you may, sir.
You arrest some unknown person for doing something Some unknown sign.
Your Honor.
I object.
She's got to lay a foundation, so you can object. I'll go ahead and make a continuing objection, okay?
There's no foundation for arrest.
Overrule, sir.
No, I'm going to object on grounds of relevance.
Overrule, sir.
The judge is overruling everything the defense says, bro.
Language that was used by groups of people consistently that was sort of different from the average.
Objection on leading.
And hearsay.
I'll sustain as to leading. The other two I'll overrule.
We've received information from Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, made really early on when a person was arrested.
Cases.
No foundation. I don't have any of these jail calls.
Overrule, sir.
The calls that were made from intake, they're labeled as intake.
Objection, Your Honor. Individual case.
I'll overrule your objection, sir.
Much contact. How many self-identified gang members did you have contact with during your time in the gang? Just outside of arrests, just normal.
There will be confrontation clause and
I'm not asking her what anybody said.
Yeah, I'll overrule the objection, sir.
And Your Honor, as far as a foundation for what we're doing,
Yes.
we're not doing anything.
Mr. Steele, please don't speak. Okay, don't speak your objection. Give me a basis and then I'll rule on, okay?
Ask for hearsay. Said specifically where the person telling
I'm,
himself.
okay, as part of foundation, I'm going to overrule your objection, sir.
with a group calling itself Young Slime Life or YSL.
Yes.
Do you recall when it was that you became aware of the existence of such a group?
Finally, something about YSL being brought up.
Roughly 2013, essentially already on the radar from its affiliation with Raised on Cleveland, ROC Crew. And we began to see the members who we had previously identified as members of ROC Crew were now claiming YSL, Young Slime Life. So, I mean, they had already been on the radar. It's just we hadn't heard of the name Young Slime Life before. Early on in Young Slime Life, we investigated numerous crimes from robberies to auto thefts. ROC Crew were responsible for quite a few ATM thefts in the city. Smash and grab ATM thefts. When I first met Mr. Williams, 2012.
And the only thing redacted is the exculpatory statement when Mr. Walter Murphy, which you excluded already, said that you're not going to get killed for this, but it doesn't involve Jeffrey Williams.
But remember I told you yesterday that you were welcome. But you have a differing opinion than Mr. Schardt does, and you may get into that particular issue.
That has nothing to do with Jeffrey Williams. The only thing that they redacted is this has nothing to do with Jeffrey Williams. So the whole thing should be out. Those are hearsay. It doesn't matter what the detective asks. It's the answer of Mr. Murphy that would be inconsistent if it is inconsistent. So I just don't want to waste the time. That's what I was trying to do this morning. It's just a lot of time consumption that I'm objecting again to everything being played the way I think the state is trying to play it.
As a matter of fact, on the stand, Mr. Murphy testified that he didn't remember what he said in the July 15th interview in 2015, but he knows the only thing he was afraid of was going to jail because he had been false flagging as a blood. He made that assertion numerous times on the record, and we never said that he was talking or pointing to Jeffrey Williams, so that assertion is actually kind of confusing an issue that is not a real issue. We're not trying to say that Jeffrey Williams threatened Walter Murphy. We're saying that Walter Murphy had a reason for acting the way that he did, and that the jury is entitled to see his asserted reasons that he then denied on the stand.
But the state has redacted. I'm objecting. The only part, after he said I could get killed for this, he said that this had nothing to do with Jeffrey. I don't know how. Somehow that's the only part that is redacted.
Yeah, why? They're like picking and choosing what they're redacting in the tapes. This is so stupid. Today was pointless. 4 hours of court and it was pointless. Like literally pointless. So I'm going to go into day 64 now. First look at Thug on day 64. Bro wearing camo shorts or pants with a green cardigan and a green tie.
We would see them on music videos. There were several artists within Atlanta Blood Gang, ABG, that would make music videos as well as like behind the scene blogs that captured, everything that was going on during the making of the video. You would see Mr. Williams, Jeffrey Williams in the video, Mr. Trontavious Stevens, Donovan Thomas.
And was Shannon Stillwell and Kenneth Copeland involved with 30 at the same time?
Yes.
At what point did you see the relationship between the two groups change at all?
I first noticed late 2014, members of ABG, If Gang go one way, and then the guys from YSL ROC Crew go their separate ways. So as far as when they fell out, I don't know. When I first noticed it was late 2014. The two groups, you would no longer see the two groups hanging with each other. Yeah, it appeared to be some sort of conflict or beef.
She's trying to bring up the murder of Donovan Thomas right now.
The first time was obviously 2015 when a homicide occurred. But
told you.
Once the homicide occurred, we had to go backwards to kind of try to find a starting point.
That homicide that you're talking about, who was it that was murdered?
Donovan Thomas, January 10th, 2015. We were immediately notified of the homicide of Donovan Thomas the night that it happened, just based on his involvement with Inglewood family Bloods. To my knowledge, he was a ranking member of Inglewood family Bloods here in Atlanta. Witness there, I guess, telling his side of the story to homicide, and he had requested for myself, investigator Dennis, to come in.
And the person who came forward on the night that Donovan Thomas was killed, without saying what they said, who was that person?
Kenneth Copeland.
Kenneth Copeland, snitch. That's Woody.
Did you and Dennis speak with Kenneth Copeland that night?
Yes.
Did you all speak with him later on, again, about similar matters?
No.
Without talking about what he said?
Yeah, Miss Love, why are you bringing that up? That's a good sidebar request right there from Brian Steele.
As related to the murder, he kind of gave us insight on. After receiving some information, I began to look for calls for service, which are 911 calls placed October 2014 up until the date of Mr. Thomas being killed, which was January. Yes, areas that were told by us, by Mr. Copeland.
Like address-wise or business-wise?
There were locations that Mr. Copeland gave us.
Those damage to property calls that you began looking into after the Donovan Thomas murder have any connection with the damage to property calls that we talked about yesterday that you began looking closer at once you gained a better understanding of certain gang activity?
The longest question of all time, Miss Love, trying to connect random shootings to the Donovan Thomas murder.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, her own witness was like, what the fuck? Longest question ever.
Roughly the very next day after Mr. Thomas's murder, we began to get drive-by shootings left and right. I mean, they were coming in at a very high speed.
Anyone associated with either YSL or Gift Gang?
That would be complication clause.
Your Honor, I'm not asking what you said.
I'm sorry, Mr. Schardt.
Both sides, YSL and If Gang, they're family members or friends or locations where they were known to frequent. We would see retaliatory shootings at both residences. There were posts from both YSL and also If Gang disrespecting each other online.
Were there members of If Gang who were also involved in the music business?
Yes.
Who were some of those members?
YSL lucci, his real name is Rayshawn Bennett, probably the most popular rapper within If Gang. Rich homie QUAN. The ATF definitely assisted us with analyzing shell casings, which were placed into NIBIN. So when the shooting occurs and we recover any type of ballistics evidence, the ATF kind of spearheaded our progression with getting the results back in a faster manner.
How many shootings did you determine flowed from or happened as a result of the murder of Donovan Thomas?
Objection, Your Honor, foundation.
How is she allowed to even answer that or ask that question? Like, what? How do we know these shootings are related?
One in particular was between Mr. Kenneth Copeland, aka Woody, Lil Woody, and the other one was with Kelvin Watts, known as Shell Kel. Kelvin Watts was a member of If Gang and Woody YSL.
Did any other members of YSL get involved in that conflict that occurred with Kenneth Copeland?
You're saying. It's speculation. I'll sustain this.
What are these questions, Miss Love? Sorry, I'm leaning back right now because this shit is so boring. I'm chilling, dude. I don't care. I can't lean forward for this.
There was an album cover of Mr. Williams with reference to Bird Gang with a snake going through the eyes and the head of the bird, which we knew represented what I knew.
I'll sustain objection.
Hold on. Why are they bringing this up again? There's no way they're bringing this up again. They're bringing up the Future and Thug album cover, and they're trying to say the snake was wrapped around the hawk or the bird or whatever, and that was like them taunting at their rival gang, but it's really just Future's record label logo. That's why Max Schardt right here is smiling, because he knows. Watch.
Bird Gang with a snake going through the eyes and the head of
look,
the bird, which we knew represented what I knew.
Max Schardt smiling like a motherfucker. Can't wait for cross-examination on that.
Based upon previous police reports and interviews of the police, we knew of the conflict going on between the two groups. The album cover was released to the general public. It just looked like a snake with a bird going through, but there was significance to us and what we knew regarding the two groups, that it was a form of disrespect to If Gang, ABG, Bird Gang.
Literally just Future's record label. It's a collab mixtape. This is the cover art, and this is your supposed gang expert right here, completely misinterpreting a fucking album cover in front of a jury when this guy's life is on the line. Oh, yep, they're showing it now.
On your screen, to your left or over your right shoulder.
You gotta be trolling. The snake is clearly YSL Thug and Future's FBG logo right here.
What did you say that this image was?
Objection, yes, yes.
I sustain objection.
Objection, cumulative to prior testimony.
Oh,
This is cumulative. They've already brought this up once before in front of the jury. This is literally cumulative. I don't know why that was overruled.
And is the snake alive or dead?
Objection.
basis.
Speculation.
Oh,
Looks to be alive and well.
What about the bird? Would you trace the image of the bird?
In the rear of it to here, round to the beak.
Now, is the bird alive or dead?
Objection.
basis.
Best evidence.
Overruled.
It appears to be decayed, dead.
Oh, so they're pointing out that it looks dead, that, yeah, it's them dissing their rival gang. No. Artists have dead imagery all the time in their artwork.
You talked about Rich Homie Quan. Did he do music as well?
Yes.
And did you know him at some point to do music with the defendant Jeffrey Williams?
Yes.
Was that prior to or before October 2014?
I believe it was roughly around the same time.
Did you ever notice a parting ways between those two?
Objection. Hearsay. Confrontation clause. Speculation.
Did you
Non-disclosure.
I can rephrase.
Overruled as to all.
Did you ever notice a parting of ways between Rich Homie Quan
Foundation.
and defendant Jeffrey Williams?
There's some question. Overruled.
Yes.
At what time?
Maybe mid 2015. Myself and my unit, we were obviously monitoring both sides, the parties, including media outlets that made it known of.
And
I'll sustain the objection.
we're talking about what?
Objection to speaking.
She's responding to me, Mr. Steele. Just,
Objection to speaking again.
she's responding to me. We'll sit down, please.
Have you heard references in YSL songs released by members of YSL, to persons who are a member of IFGANG after the death of Donovan Thomas?
And the hearsay is too vague.
Your Honor, if she herself has heard it and can speak from
Well,
her
I'll sustain the objection. You probably need to lay a little more foundation.
that refer to or related to conflict between YSL and IFGANG.
Call for hearsay.
Overruled, sir.
Yes, that is.
Overruled. Overruled, sir.
Brian Steele going through it right now. Look at this man. This judge is just overruling everything.
We would see members from both gangs posting disrespectful messages towards each other, tagging each other in posts, just so the other person would know that they're speaking on them. I do recall a post of, just as an example, a member of YSL was driving on the highway and members of IFGANG shot at his vehicle, basically chased him down. The following day, members of IFGANG posted, just had a shootout on the highway.
She's speaking about.
I'll overrule the objection, sir.
He was hanging out the window, shooting a firearm.
Overruled, sir.
To my knowledge, we knew them as Inglewood Family Bloods. Some members referred to themselves as Haiti Gang.
Did it have a head, as far as you can see?
One of the most notable persons was the rapper YSL and lucci. I observed him exit the passenger side of a white Dodge Nitro, exit a vehicle with a large assault rifle in his hand.
He's just going over Walter Murphy's attempted murder situation.
I am challenging the ability of a lay witness who was not present at the scene to narrate this video, because the video speaks for itself. The jurors are able to analyze the video and take from the video what they may, and they are in the exact same position. Detective Gaither, who was like them, was not present at the scene. Now, Walter Murphy, I asked him about things. He was actually present. It is outside the scope of lay testimony to narrate this video for the jurors. Again, I don't have a problem with her identifying people, but then to go, and then this person did this, and this person did that.
Judge, I believe that Mr. Schardt forgets that he asked Walter Murphy about what was happening before that Nitro ever even showed up. Schardt specifically, and I thought it was kind of humorous, at one point asked, is this woman pumping gas? Walter Murphy wasn't on the scene. He hadn't even pulled up yet. And here he is asking Walter Murphy, did Tina Clark pump gas? And I believe that this is a competent witness to talk about anything that she chooses.
Unless you got some case law, I'm going to overrule your objection, okay?
So all these lawyers are objecting to this detective narrating and talking over this video, like the video can't speak for itself.
Of the store.
You have an objection on this basis.
If it's not seen on video, then that's not good.
What's the basis of your objection, sir?
It would be Detective Gaither's not there to not sort of information for this video.
Detective Gaither's not there. How can she testify to this video?
And what is he doing at 214351?
He's attempting to conceal the rifle into a jacket. Walter Murphy began to run towards the blue vehicle with the assault rifle drawn.
And that's it. Today was a half day. That's why there's 2 days in one video. Very tedious. This detective is apparently a gang expert, and I've never liked that. But I mean, this is a RICO trial, but like, I feel like it's dumb to say you're a gang expert and then get shit wrong. Blows my mind with how pointless some of this is, bro. Like, just show us the hard evidence. Hit subscribe, join the channel membership, only 10 cents per day. I really appreciate the support. I love you guys. Peace out.